The two networks join forces as one. And it's gonna be magnetic and magnificent.
The country's prominent personalities. Truthful and meaningful conversations beyond the superficial and controversial issues. Profound discussion on the nation's affairs with people of credible source of information. Only here on SMNI Exclusive.
Good evening or good day, wherever you are, here in the Philippines and in the different parts of the globe. Welcome to SMNI Exclusive. We will have a personal talk with a very special guest tonight that concerns the different issues of the country. And leading us in our discussion tonight and to formally introduce our very distinguished guest is our beloved pastor, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy. Good evening, Pastor.
Thank you, Nori. Tonight, on SMNI Exclusive, we have with us our own President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. We are honored to have him with us as our guest tonight for SMNI Exclusive, where issues, achievements, and successes of the Duterte administration will be tackled. I am honored to introduce to you our very own guest, our President of the Republic of the Philippines, our good friend, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Good evening to everybody, and good evening to all the viewers of this program tonight. I hope to maybe clarify more the programs of government. As a government worker, it is my duty to inform the people of the developments regarding every issue, foremost of which is really the issue of COVID-19 and all other matters that would affect really the color of my governance. I am ready to answer any question. As a matter of fact, I had my response written because I want to make it clear. I might miss some, but I hope not all, especially in the matter of law and order, where the human rights of the Philippines, all of them, are maybe in doubt, and questions about extrajudicial killing. Even now, there are killings extrajudicial in the sense that they were killed in gun battles. And also, please bear in mind that they have lost so many soldiers and policemen in the fight against the drug war, criminality, and the terrorists, the NPAs. We consider them as terrorists now, and fighting with no order in mind except for plunder and destruction. With that as a predicate of my answers tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po, Mayor. At bago po tayong papatuloy, before we will continue, allow us to show this audio-video presentation of the Duterte brand of leadership, ang tatak ng pagbabago. So panoorin po muna natin ito.
I, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully fulfill my duties as President of the Philippines, so help me God.
2016 saw the meteoric rise to power of a humble politician, that is Rodrigo Duterte, the first Mindanaoan president and the first local chief executive to get elected straight to the office of the president, who has a stellar record while taking the reins in Davao City as its longtime mayor for 23 years. And this track record, his Exhibit A, boosted his stakes during the presidential polls, winning a landslide victory with 16.6 million votes, the highest number of votes won by any Philippine president. Fast forward to today, as Duterte nears the end of his 6-year term, the Iron Fist leader has translated his outstanding record in the city to a nationwide level. Taking the helm of the highest position in the land, President Duterte has laid down his 0 to 10-point agenda. 0. Peace and order. 1. Continue and maintain current macroeconomic policies, including fiscal, monetary, and trade policies. 2. Institute progressive tax reform and more effective tax collection, indexing taxes to inflation. 3. Increase competitiveness and the ease of doing business. 4. Accelerate annual infrastructure spending to account for 5% of GDP, with public-private partnerships playing a key role. 5. Promote rural and value chain development toward increasing agricultural and rural enterprise productivity and rural tourism. 6. Ensure security of land tenure to encourage investments and address bottlenecks in land management and titling agencies. 7. Invest in human capital development, including health and educational systems, and match skills and training to meet the demand of businesses and the private sector. 8. Promote science, technology, and the creative arts to enhance innovation and creative capacity towards self-sustaining, inclusive development. 9. Improve social protection programs, including the government's conditional cash transfer program to protect the poor against instability and economic shocks. And 10. Strengthen implementation of the Responsible Parenthood and the Reproductive Health Law to enable especially poor couples to make informed choices on financial and family planning, are the foundation of the Duterte administration's socio-economic thrust. In October 2016, Duterte signed Executive Order No. 5, approving and adopting the National Long-Term Vision or Ambisyon Natin 2040 as the country's blueprint for development planning. In the face of the pandemic, the Duterte administration retrofitted its targets by updating its Philippine Development Plan 2017-2022, which is the country's first medium-term plan geared towards a long-term vision. By pursuing an independent foreign policy, the Duterte administration has strengthened its relationships with existing and historic allies. While lessening the country's dependence on the United States, it forged new allies and diplomatic engagements with non-traditional partners such as Russia, Japan, and India, among others. The Filipinos' cry for long-term change in the bureaucracy was heard as the president took his aim to solve the illnesses of society, the problems of criminality, corruption, violence, and drugs. The president also fulfilled his campaign promise to provide government interventions to address poverty and hunger, boost employment, and help the different sectors of the economy by institutionalizing reforms and legislations. The administration also enacted reforms to promote peace and security in the country through the Bangsamoro Organic Law, among others, and passed laws to push for innovation and for the advancement of science and technology, education, culture, and sports. Amidst the pandemic, the government continues to boost disaster prevention and risk management to help the local government units and its constituents in the event of natural disasters and calamities. Policy reforms to protect the environment, transportation, and promote ecological integrity were also carried out. The Duterte administration also did not forget our modern heroes, the overseas Filipino workers, by streamlining its programs and services for their welfare. The proposed Department of Overseas Filipinos is also aimed at and expected to cover all the needs and concerns of the migrant workers. In 2020, the Philippines recorded its first case of the coronavirus infection, and the government mobilized and implemented measures to help contain and manage the spread of the virus. The chief executive also formed the Interagency Task Force on Emerging and Infectious Diseases, which is the prime mover of the government's coronavirus response. He did not also forget the frontliners who were at the forefront of the battle against the unseen enemy and provided assistance and benefits in recognition of their hard work. It is also during the Duterte's term that the Filipinos saw the gradual demise of the entrenched impunity through the destruction of rebel groups and the dismantling of its factions. Almost 18,000 communist rebels and supporters surrendered to the government from July 2016 to May 2021, including 3,684 New People's Army or NPA regulars, 2,039 members of the Militia ng Bayan, 1,736 from the underground mass organizations, 636 from sangay ng partido sa lokalidad, and 7,074 communist mass supporters. In 2018, the Chief Executive signed Executive Order No. 70, or the Whole-of-Nation Approach to End Insurgency and Armed Conflicts. The Duterte administration welcomed throngs of rebel surrenderies who returned to the folds of the government, providing them assistance in the form of housing, livelihood, and benefits, among others, while they reintegrated back to the society. The Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program also speaks volumes, with the acquisition of more combat utility helicopters on top of other delivered air assets to the country, and the procurement of the Air Defense Radar System, a FA-50 flight simulator, utility vehicles, drones, and other command and control fixed-wing aircraft, among others. The military has achieved significant gains to maintain the country's peace and order.
We will make a few years the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines to enhance our mobility and connectivity and thereby spur development growth on equitable in the country. In other words, we are going to build and build.
The Duterte administration flagship program, the Build infrastructure projects, ushered in the Philippines' golden age of infrastructure. The Filipinos saw small and big-ticket projects being built and completed in cities, towns, and provinces across the country. In fact, the amount that the Duterte administration poured into its infra projects is more than double than any other administration today. Aside from decongesting national roads and giving the public a reprieve from the perennial problem of traffic, the government believes that these infrastructure projects will play a key role in helping to kickstart the economy that is marred by the pandemic. So far, the Department of Public Works and Highways has already built at least 144,925 classrooms and constructed at least 2,036 school workshop buildings and other school facilities. DPWH has successfully constructed, maintained, widened, upgraded, and rehabilitated at least 26,494 kilometers of road across the country and built at least 5,555 bridges. On top of these are other tourism roads, projects, and industries, as well as trade corridors, among others.
Confident kami na karamihan ng mga projects will be substantially completed sa term ni President. Dahil yun naman, umpisa pala yun ang kagandahan po ng administrasyon ni Presidente. Napakaganda ng planning. Yun po ang concept ng build para maramdaman ng ating mga kababayan sa lahat ng sulok ng Pilipinas. At ito po ay television talaga ng ating Pangulo, and we're doing our best para matapos lahat. Maraming naging challenges. Itong huling challenge natin, itong COVID-19. But I'm happy to say that karamihan po ng mga ating mga projects makukumpleto substantially.
The government has earmarked billions of dollars for the construction of big-ticket rail, airport, road and bridge projects across the nation to enhance mobility and connectivity in the country.
ang kagawaran ay gagawa at gagawa. Sabi nga sa English, build, build, build. Ginagawa ho namin ang aming mga kayang gawin. Many are flagships, many are big, many are bigger than bigger. At for some people, they see it is impossible. Bigyan nyo kami ng tiwala at pabaunan nyo kami ng dasal. Hindi lang para sa amin ito. Ito'y para sa inyo, para sa ating lahat, para sa sambayanan.
President Rodrigo Duterte's administration has always been marred by heavy criticism. Yet despite the nitpicking of his so-called critics, the staunch leader continues to enjoy high trust and approval ratings. In fact, President Duterte holds the highest public and approval rating among the 4 recent chief executives of the Philippines. Under Duterte's watch, the government was able to fulfill so much, greatly enabling the Filipino people to live a comfortable, decent, and secure life. This only goes to show that every development amidst the improbabilities is plausible to a leader who has the political will to rise and be at par with other nations, especially the Asian region. And this is the Duterte brand of leadership, making a huge mark of positive change among the lives of the Filipino people, true to its campaign motto, Tatak ng Pagbabago.
Wow. Wow, truly such a feat in such a time like this, in a very short term. Indeed, the Filipinos are lucky and we are so blessed to have President Rodrigo Duterte in our midst. And Pastor, we will now go to our discussion. Would you like to ask the first question, Pastor?
Ang una pong tanong, mahal na Pangulo, on your campaign platforms, yung anti-crime, anti-drugs at anti-corruption po ang primary ninyong plataforma. Kumusta na po ba ang implementasyon nito?
Ako talaga ay hardliner. And ganun talaga ako noon pa. Hardliner ako. So, since the beginning of my presidency, we have shown our determination in combating insurgency and terrorism with the end goal of attaining lasting, sustainable peace in the country. In the past 5 years, our forces have apprehended and captured thousands of lawless elements, substantially decreasing the strength of those terrorists. We acknowledge that terrorism and insurgency are problems that have plagued our country for so long. This is why we launched a multi-sectoral approach to address this problem. I am thus very grateful to our government forces in making it possible for us to sustain the momentum of the whole of the nation approach to end insurgency and terrorism. We will also continue our social, economic, and development mechanism that will address the root cause of our peace and order problem. We need to win the hearts and minds of our people so that they would not be easily fall prey to the manipulative schemes of these insurgents and extremist groups. Alam mo, Pastor, itong NPA ngayon, simply called NPA for want of a better term, aside from being considered a terrorist group. They are fighting without a cause anymore. And season is too far away, and his grip in the affirmist sector of the insurgency medyo lumuluag na. Dalawa reformist and the affirmist. In that battle, well, of course, it was a violent one. Sila Quintanar, yung nagbago na, pinatay nila, at marami pang iba. Now, itong mga leader nila, diyan ako medyo talagang hardliner. Pero itong mga sundalo nila na farmers, people in the mountains, sometimes with no clear livelihood programs, at ito namang walang medyo hand-to-mouth existence, they are the first to fall prey to itong mga salita ng mga NPA na gano'n, bakit may mayaman, bakit siya mayaman, ikaw may kotse, ikaw wala. The things that they would tell to a young children in explaining the iniquities of the world. Alam natin, ginusto man natin, we cannot call upon the whole world to kneel down before you na makuha ninyo ang gusto ninyo. So ang akin is itong LCAC, itong the whole of the nation approach. It has a funding and they are trying to win itong mga sundalo na, alam mo, naawa ako dyan mga sundalo, nagpapakamatay. Yung iba ilibing lang dyan sa gubat, and their families are never informed that their loved ones have already died. Naawa ako itong sa mga tao na ito kasi wala ka talagang kamuang-muang, and they still believe. You know, Pastor, kung maniwala itong mga sundalo na NPA na itong mga leader nila sa Politburo, puro milyonaryo, bilyonaryo yan. As a matter of fact, yung mga anak ng mga Politburo, the leaders, ang nag-aral doon sa Europe, prominent of which is anak ni Sarate, is stuttling around the universities in Europe. Tapos itong mga sundalo nila, gutom minsan. Alam mo, the real hard reality is this. Ang NPA, Pastor, is collecting taxes from everybody. Lahat yan. Huwag ko na lang pangalanan, be it a big construction company, road building company, o mga infrastructure dyan, mga eskwelahan, building and everything. Pati yung mga tindahan, yung malalaking tindahan sa Maynila, ayaw ko lang sabihin, meron ditong branch kung saan-saan. Nagbabayad yan. Kaya maraming pera ang Politburo. Puro mayaman, sa karamihan sa kanila, wala dito. Nasa Amerika, nasa Europe, and they are being sustained by the taxation collected by these poor people. Sabihin, sige, at sunugin mo yung tractor ng contractor dyan, sunugin mo yung building dyan, kasi hindi nagbibigay ng buwis sa atin. At ito naman mga pobreng sundalo, walang kawang-muhang, sinusunod nila, and yet, hindi nila alam na nagbayad ng taxes lahat dito sa Pilipinas at doon sila nakatira sa Amerika kundi sa Europe. That is the irony of it all. Tapos itong Amerikano, they have the goal to question our record dito, human rights, when as a matter of fact, they know that there is a war going on. The NPAs, ostensibly, they want to overturn this government and take over. Yan ang hindi naintindihan ng Amerikano. Kaya minsan hindi kami nagsundo dyan sa usapan namin. We talk on a different wavelength. So hanggang sometimes it ends up into an argument, and it ends up into a recriminations on both sides. Yun, Pastor. In droga, hindi na ako, ayaw ko nang magsalita. Basta ito na lang tandaan ninyo. Ganito ang approach ko sa droga. You deal with drugs, you destroy my country. I will kill you. Well, I do not mince my words. I will kill you. And when you do drugs, sell it to our daughters, to our young boys, and you destroy their life, I will kill you. Because that is a defense mechanism of a ako, I will kill them. So, wag na natin pag-usapan kung ano pang yung droga. Basta hanggang dyan lang ako. Well, we have seen a lessening of the drugs actually in the Philippines. This is Davao, tingi-tingi. But sa ibang lugar, meron Manila, but they are almost paralyzed because we have better intelligence now, and it's working. Kaya kagaya noon, sabi ko, I will end the problem of drugs in Manila or in the Philippines. I did not know, Pastor, that about 6 police generals were into drugs. Either sila mismo or protecting the drug people. I did not know that I was fighting my own government. I was fighting corruption sa customs at kung saan-saan. So that is why I took care of the police generals. At least alam nila at wala na sila. They're out. Almost retired. Lahat sila. Ang akin lang mga talagang hindi kami magkaintindihan. Mabutit na lang hindi tayo mag-abot. Hindi ko naman sinasabi matapang ako. Sinabi ko talaga, papatayin ko kayo. You destroy my country. I will have to tell you that you bring out the worst in me, the violent side of my persona. Naawa ako sa bayan ko, Pastor. Kung yung mga ganito, as we are doing well in the terrorist front, we have been also minimize the various minimum ang droga.
May Mr. President, yung storya mo about drugs nung bago ka maupo as President. There is a story, medyo malapit ito sa puso ko dahil ito pastor na nasa Manila. Mabait na pastor ito. While he was having Bible study in one home in Makati, naiwan yung anak niya na 15 years old. Maraming kapatid siya, tigo 3, kasama niya lahat. Itong bata naiwan. So, she was about to take a bath, nakatuwalya na lang. Tapos pinasok siya nung 7 na mga thieves and robbers, obviously high on drugs. At pagkatapos yun, pinagpapasapasahan siya. rape, tapos ginawa lahat sa kanya. Mabuti hindi siya pinatay. Pero this is a pastor, and her daughter was only 15 years old when she was raped by the 7 men high on drugs. Kaya we commiserate with you, even the whole nation. Nung lumabas ka, yung plataforma mo is about this, number 1 yan. Kasi talamak na noon ang bansa natin. Kaya hanggang ngayon, yung tao, ang trust nila nasa iyo kasi hindi ka nagbago sa iyong pakikipaglaban sa droga, anuman ang sabihin nila, sa criminality. Kaya yun ang mataas pa rin sa puso ng tao hanggang ngayon. While the critics are saying all of these negative things, pero yung tao alam nila na malayo sila sa puso kasi nasa siya yung tapang at bilang presidente natin na nagmalasakit ka sa ating bayan because of that.
Yeah. I would like to, before we leave the topic, Pastor, wala talaga akong you drug people, kayong nakikinig ngayon na nasa negosyo ng drugs. You're doing an evil thing and you think that you can conquer good. So pag yan ang nasa paradigm ng isip ninyo, mindset ninyo, sabihin ko ito sa inyo, you are doing evil, and if possible, if forced to, sometimes I also do evil. So evil to evil tayo. And do not ever think that you are the only one who can do evil things. Kasi ako, marunong rin akong bumaba sa impyerno to really meet you where you want it to be. Hindi na ako mag-elaborate niyan. Pero kung anong kaya mong gawin, kaya ko rin talaga. At gagawin ko. Kaya ganun nga ang nangyayari. Hindi kita papayagan makalusot. But, Pastor, for the life of me, I never allowed the killing of young people. Kasi yan, Pastor, in the hierarchy of things, di yung mga may-ari ng droga, nag-i-smuggle. Tapos, sila yung humahawak. Sila yung mga tinatawag na mga kapitan. Then, kasi may connection sila sa countries outside of the Philippines. At alam na natin, Tapos, ibigay nila yan sa mga lieutenant, mga teniente nila. Sa baba, ibigay yan doon sa mga nagpapabili. Ang tawag niyan, Pastor, basurero. Kaya ako sa mga bata, sabi ko, hulihin na lang. Pero itong nag-i-import, itong mga lieutenants, sabi ko, that is evil. And if you want to play evil with me, kaya ko marin. Kung wala kang kaluluwa, di wala rin akong kaluluwa. And if you have to mortgage your soul to the devil, I can also talk to the devil at sabihin ko rin na ibigay mo rin yung kabalastugan kasi gagawain ko yan sa kanila. If you cannot sabihin niyo takot, sometimes good is good. Kaya if you fight evil with good, walang mangyari, Pastor. Walang mangyari. Kung sabi ka lang, because, you are not allowed by your religion, of course it is true. that you are not supposed to kill. You are not supposed to, because we are on the good side. Pero kung wala na lang bad sila, tapos hindi mo naman tapatan ng bad, mahirap yan. Mananalo ka dyan. But hindi ako magpayag because I said, do not ever think that you monopolize evil in this planet. Yan lang ang gusto kong sabihin sa kanila.
That's why may katapat na yung mga masasama dito, Mr. President. At saka ito yung naging resulta. Kung may resulta yung droga na ganyan, may resulta rin yung ginagawa ninyo na mapayapa natin at matakot sila. So that is the result of what we are now enjoying as a peace and order country in the Philippines, starting with Davao nung mayor kayo dito. What about yung anti-corruption po ninyo?
Basta ako kaibigan tayo, pero sinabi ko naman sa kanila yan, huwag kayong pumasok sa corruption. And to date, Pastor, I have yung sa pastillas na 43 immigration officer, ubos yun. Sa mayroon pang nadagdag, tapos well, ang pinakamarami sa customs. I think I terminated something like almost 70.
Oh, wow.
Talagang inano ko sila. Kung ayaw na maniwala ng tao na ginawa namin, bahala kayo, basta kami, hindi man kami kailangan magyabang sa trabaho namin. Basta ako sa corruption, talagang yayariin kita. I do not have to announce it to the public. I do not have, hindi na ako pwedeng magyabang. Hindi naman pwedeng ipagyayabang yan. At meron namang isang kabila ng mga na kung anong sabihin mo, babalik ta rin. So ako, tahimik na lang, basta ako trabaho, basta yung mga drug, trabaho lang rin ako. Then maybe, if I said, if I have to mortgage my soul to the devil to fight them, I will do it. But I hope, Pastor, that you will redeem the mortgage. Bayaran mo na lang para gano'n na lang. Ipagbili mo yung sangla mo yung kaluluwa. Then that's the reason why I am very honest with you. Sana naman tubusin mo na lang ako doon sa impyerno.
Grabe, Mayor. Akala nyo, yun ang bilib ng tao sa inyo kasi yung trabaho ninyo, ginagawa ninyo to the extent that you lay down your own life. For us, scriptures, nandiyan yan, no, na greater love hath no man than this, that a man will lay down his life for his friends. Para lang sa kapakanan ng bayan. Kaya malapit ka sa puso ng mga Pilipino kahit anong pang mangyari. So, yun ang nakikita namin sa iyo na you are not doing this just to show off, but you are doing this because it is your life and your personality na pag nasa trabaho ka, talagang totohanan yung trabaho at walang publicity, meron man o wala, you are doing your job. At shock din kami kasi pag dating mo dyan sa gobyerno, noon sa mayor ka lang, ngayon sa bilang presidente, nakita mo talaga yung extent ng corruption, Mr. President. Ano po? That's why yung sa ano mo, sa SONA mo, I am fighting my own government because you saw it.
Sabi ko nga, I can solve the problem in 6 months. Little did I know that I will be fighting my own government.
Grabe.
So, tama sila. Pero hindi ko man alam. It was not only after I appointed Bato to be the PNP chief and I told him, open the records. Do not hide anything from me. Buklatin mo sa harap ko kung sino. Then we discovered itong mga ninja cops, itong mga general. Pero yung ninja cops, Pastor, mga dalawa na lang naiwan. Talagang ninja, gumalaw, hindi. Pero maabot na. May dalawa o tatlo na lang. Wala na. So, yan. Ang komunista naman, we have offered the olive oil of the olive tree leaves. Ayaw pa nila maniwala, sige.
Pero yung NTF, LCAC Mayor, Mr. President, is the real answer to this insurgency problem. Talagang nagsusurrenderan na lahat because kita naman nila ang genuineness ng inyong pangako sa kanila, tulungan sila.
And to think that some senators even question it, yan nga ang mahirap, Pastor. I'll tell you about government, ang traffic ngayon sa EDSA maluwang na. Okay?
Yeah.
But early on sa administration ko, it was a crisis there. So, ang mga advice nila, tugade, yung mga bright boy ko, sabi nila, maghiram tayo ng pera. We can maybe adapt in an MRT or somewhere, paakyat. Pero basta, we need money. Alam mo, hindi ko lang sabihin ang senador na yan, babae. But I will during maybe the campaign kasi tatakbo ito sigurado ako. Pangalanan ko siya. Sabi kasi niya, wala, malaking pera yan, kukurat lang. Sabi ko, narinig ko, bago ako. Sabi ko, wag na lang kung ganon. So, hayaan mo. Then, sabi ko, it behooves upon me now really to find out itong solution kung paano. So, ito ngayon sa taas, kita mo na, ito na lang ang binuhos ko yung mga grant, doon ko binuhos yung pera. Ngayon, maluwang na ang traffic ng Manila. Talagang, so, if you go to Cubao airport, it's about 15 minutes.
Sold for the first time.
Yan. Ayaw ninyo kasi, alam mo kasi ang una, ang Malaysia.
Yes.
Yung malisyosa na utak ba? Siguro, kaya ganon, kaya kung sila, gagawin nila yan.
Yun ang mentalidad nila kasi when they are in that position, nakita naman natin hindi lang papangalan yung mga administrasyong nakaraan. Did they do something about this? Patapos they are crying about the problem. Pero in your administration, this is the first time the Filipino people saw the build project ninyo na kaya pala.
So many roads. 29,000 ba ito?
Grabe.
Pati lahat ng airport ngayon maganda na.
Yun nga ang di mapaniwalaan namin at ng mga Pilipino, Mayor. Bakit nagawa ninyo ito? Sila noon kahit isang tulay, mahirap daw. 6 years daw ang abutin bago.
Nung ako, I called, he's a very good worker. Talagang may alam. I thought kasi anak ng mayaman.
Yes.
Ito si Villar.
Yes.
Baka mag-secretary lang dahil for the glory of it. Noong nagtrabaho mo, believe ako, sabi ko.
Yes.
He is really a worthy son of Cynthia and Manny Villar.
You really selected the best people.
Ang raming ginawa.
Daan,
29,000 kilometers
Yeah.
almost.
Maalala ko yung yung nung sa Singapore si Lee Kuan Yew nung umupo siya, yun ang inanap niya, yung mga tao na the best for Singapore. Yun ngayon ang nangyari sa iyo dito. You have the best people na talagang they do their job at saka no nonsense talaga yung paggawa nila. The likes of Tugade, yung vision niya, pati yung
Tugade is also good.
Yes.
Mga airport natin, puro magaganda na. Lahat.
pati yung sa Mayor, sa DNR, si
Mato.
Si Mato, tingnan mo yung yung ginagawa lang issue, yung Manila Bay. When did we see Manila Bay like that?
Pati yung sa Boracay. Alam mo, nagtataka ako, napadaan ako gabi sa kumpanya, bako. Yung hangin talaga, pastor, papuntang hindi galing palabas sa beach, papunta. Sabi ko, anong nakita ng mga foreigners nito na you have the white sand but you endure the stink.
Yeah.
Kaya sabi ko, linisin ninyo. Ngayon, maganda na.
Noon pala, ginabit lang nila yung mga drainage, diretso na sa dagat.
Yung pala yung because actually they are not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be just like any the practice of all countries is that you have to find some space there malayo. Tapos may easement yung daan, then yung beach. Yung sa Ipanema sa Brazil, napunta man ako. Ang mga hotel parang BB Boulevard, tapos may highway, tapos magpunta ka pa doon. Ang beach malawak, it's about 2 kilometers pa bago ka. I was privileged to travel there sa South America when I was a congressman.
Kaya ginagawa niyo yung mga daan ngayon, meron siyang walkway na malalapad, maganda. It really beautified the country, and we are proud to have a country like that na makita natin na yung nangyari talaga.
Well, ano lang, Pastor.
We thank you for that.
Now, we go to itong peace talk sa
CPP and PA.
it's dead on its track. It is in still waters. Walang
Saka wala mong resulta yung pistok na yun. Noon pa yun.
Tama sila. It might it would appear that there is if the participation of the governance is just too much. Too much has been asked. Parang on the economic policies of the country, they would be a part of it like a coalition government.
Hindi pwede.
Hindi nakakasabi. Hindi ako pwede.
Ang endgame kasi niyan, Mr. President, is talagang to take over government. Yun lang ang endgame nila.
Kagaya ng itong pastor. We almost, had I not interdicted it, actually, whether maniwala ang human rights o hindi. Lahat ng mayors halos dito sa Mindanao were into drugs.
Oo.
Lahat they were cooking drugs everywhere sila, o dikta, patay na. Si Mabilog, yung mayor ng Iloilo na sumibat na. Kasi papatayin ko talaga siya. Was destroying my country. Naunahan na niya ako ng sibat. Kasi may pera na. Claims innocence. Pero, Pastor, makita mo yung bahay niya sa Iloilo. Yung mansion. I do not think that
Mayor.
he is that rich, or even if he is a son of a rich family, hindi ganun. Saka doon sa yung namatay na si Parahinog, yung wallpaper ng bahay nila, Pastor Pera, 500 pinagdikit talaga. Wallpaper. Ginagawang wallpaper. Ito.
Flaunting talaga.
Oo. Talagang,
Di ba nung mayor kayo dito sa Mr. President, dito sa Davao, we were already talking about this guy na siya yung ulo dito sa droga.
alam ko, pero ang ano na yung pastores, kaibigan kami. Pero tinanong ko siya minsan, sabi niya, wala raw. Sabi ko, well, wala man o tama, wala ka man o meron, huwag ka lang pumasok ng Davao. Kasi magpatayan talaga tayo. Sinabi ko talaga sa kanya, do not ever include Davao sa ano. So, ang problema, ang droga nila, pasa-pasa, yung mga residente doon, it's almost a laid-back community. Wala mang matindahan, mga building, wala nga mga mall. Pero kontento ang mga tao doon. E paano pala kukuha ng droga doon sa mayor nila? Sila yung community of...
Sila na yung
hindi naman lahat. Pero ito si community of pushers. Yun ang...
Kung di nasugpo yun, city
kung
to
hindi
city.
ko tinira talaga ng gusto. Yung ibang mayors namatay, pero wala naman ako gawa dyan. Sabi ko nga, you do not monopolize evil in this world. Kung hindi ko talaga, we would have been closing in as a narco state kagaya ng Medellin.
Sigurado.
Kung sinong patakbuhin nila, manalo.
That's it. Yun na yung tapusan natin.
Kung hindi ko talaga binira sila ng gusto, wala, pastor. Maging narco state talaga tayo.
Kaya on time talaga yung pagkalagay ninyo riyan. Thank God. Kasi eto na yung template ng leadership ng Pilipinas. Yung leadership po ninyo, Mr. President. What about po dito sa COVID at saka sa AFP modernization?
COVID has a different line of budgeting. At saka kung ano ang ano dyan, we do not touch the things that, the money that is already intended for a specific purpose. Pastor, ang gastos natin sa COVID is separate. Yun yung hinirahiram natin sa World Bank, pati sa Development Bank of Asia.
Grabing laki ng
Sila
budget
ang
dito.
magbayad. Hindi tayo nagkuha. Basta magbigay lang yung vaccine. I-process nila ang... Ito naman mga opposition.
Ito naman.
Akala nila, where is the money, where is the vaccine? Nag-order na kami, Pastor. Problem is, wala talagang stock. Kulang ang supply. Ngayon medyo maluwang na kasi sinigurado ng Amerika medyo bakuna sila ng bakuna. Ngayon, they can sell parang residual ng ano nila stock. Pero tayo, the one thing dito sa atin is dumadating na in bulk. So, binabayaran natin. But ang bayad natin, hindi tayo makahawak ng pera. We do not get the money into our hands. Itong mga iba, mga bright talaga, saan ang bakuna? Bakit? Saan yung
Kala nila yung pera sa kamay mo eh. Sa kamay ng gobyerno.
Tapos ngayon nandyan ang bakuna. Bakit mahina ang nag-overtime na nga eh. Gusto nila na a billion people, 110 million Filipinos. So,
you cannot vaccinate them in one day.
Kaya nga, ito, sabihin ko na this time, yung ibang syudad, bigyan ng malaki na rin allotment nila. Cebu, Manila, Cagayan, Zamboanga, may spike eh. Ayan, hindi kasi naniniwala. Hawaan na mo. So, yan ang mahirap nga eh. Wala itong katapusang purgatorio natin na ito.
May mga bagong variants na naman.
May bagong variants pa na butit na lang siguro pwede pa yung bakuna natin. Kaya pag ibang klase ng bakuna kailangan, they have to go back to the laboratories and work. They're asked to death to find out kung saan sila makakuha.
Niisip namin na Mr. President, ito pong, kung wala itong pandemic, ano kaya ang naabot ng administrasyon ninyo sa development, no? In spite of the pandemic, look what happened.
We're still BBB sa Standard and Poor. But that's about BBB plus tayo. The next is BBB plus, the next is A. And despite of our maybe total lack of funds to address all the problems of governance, binigyan pa rin tayo ng BBB plus. Ibig sabihin, Pastor, yung rating natin sa borrowing, makahiram tayo ng pera. Makahiram kasi alam nila makabayad tayo. So, Dominguez has done a very good homework.
Sa finansyon. Kaya you have the best people in your cabinet who is really helping you. Saka alam naman nila yung stance mo sa corruption, talagang tutok sa trabaho. Ito pong Mr. President, itong possible VP run na sinabi ng PDP Laban, they gave you the nomination and they gave you the authority to also appoint who you want to be the president.
Mahirap yan, Pastor, kasi mag-retire na ako tapos this time ako ang mamili ng presidente. Pag manalo, sabihin nila, ano ko lang yan? Perpetuate yourself in power. So, nagre-resist ako.
Pero the sentiment of the people is different eh. To you, alam namin yon because you are adverse to power or to positions like that because alam namin na pag may position ka, trabaho talaga yun sa iyo. Pero the people look at that and they want continuity sa yung ginagawa ninyo ngayon. Yung takot nila is yung mangyayari na naman yung mga old politics noon na pag may ibang gumanon, babaguhin na naman, alisin na naman, balik na naman tayo sa corruption, balik tayo sa droga, balik tayo sa mga oligarch na hawak ang leeg. Lahat, yun ang takot ng taong bayan. If there is no continuity. Kaya, yung sentiment ng tao ngayon is on that level. That's why your popularity is not going down. In fact, the clamor is as the same as much stronger than 2016 eh. The clamor of the people eh. For you to still be there.
Well, ako naman, I'm ready for retirement. But if you ask me what is my greatest achievement, in a very humble way, ako, Pastor, I expose the oligarchy in the Philippines. Kasi sinasabi ko na noon sa kampanya, yung corruption niyan sa mga customs, wala yan sa taas. So until pumutok itong Manila Water, pati kita mo.
That even in the time of Marcos, he's a strong man also, was not able to solve.
Nung nakita ako, Pastor, magbayad ako.
Oh.
Kasi pala doon sa contract,
Mm.
if the so Manila Water would lose money because merong nabasag dito na pipe na ganon, ang losses nila tayo ang magbayad.
Ang gobyerno.
Oo, ang
tao.
tayo, pagkita ko, sabi ko, binasa ko, tapos tayo ang magbayad ng corporate tax nila.
Wow.
Store. Hindi ko lang dala yung papilis eh. Basta, marami, Pastor.
Grabe.
Income tax.
And that went on for years.
Ha?
4 years yun, bago kayo dumating.
No, it was started in 1996.
Grabe.
Dito. Tapos meron pa doon na sa mga bill ng for water treatment facility. Diyan sa Harrison. Diyan ang water treatment facility. Since 1996, kinukolekta ng water treatment facility hanggang nung pumutok ako. Wala mang ni isang tubo na sabi ko.
But they were collecting. Since
They were
1996.
collecting. Sabi ko nga, yung kontrata nila, yung gano'n, iharap ko sa anti-graft law. Pareho. Swak talaga.
So binago yun ngayon, Mr. President.
Hindi ka pumayag eh.
No.
Wala silang standstill ngayon. Hindi talaga ako pumayag. Kung meron man akong maipagabang sabi ko yung mga oligarchs na binibigyan ng kapangyarihan na sobra-sobra. Walang corporate tax, tayo magbayad. Malugo sila, tayo magbayad. Lahat na.
Stranglehold ng ating development. No?
Malugi sila, tayo ang magbayad.
At hindi nakita yun ng mga unang administrasyon o sila yung nagpabor noon?
Tahimik ba? Ayala ba noon, pati Pangilinan? Ako, nag-go for broke ako dyan.
Yun Mr. President, ang isa rin sa kinatuwa ng taong bayan sa Pilipinas, yung talagang inarap ninyo the problem. Sa English pa, you held the bull by the horn. Talagang direct collision sa lahat ng problema ng gobyerno na sa ating development, yung CPP-NPA, number 1, yung sa drugs, yung sa oligarch, at corruption sa gobyerno. Those are the big problems that held back the Filipino. And you were there for that in just less than 6 years.
At least nga, Pastor, takot talaga sila.
No.
Sabi ko nga, I just fired a high government official.
Because you mean business in your job as our executive.
Sinabak ako isang araw.
But ma-reveal yan balang araw.
Oo.
Yung mga na-dismiss mo ngayon, it will be known by the public later or wala na yun.
Well, kasi may mga may mga private complainants. Hindi naman puputok yan kung walang pumapiyak eh. So, ako I said, I give you the advice that if you want to file cases, go ahead. Sabi mo, it will reflect into sa aking administrasyon. Reflect ka ng reflect. Total, basta kulong ka doon. Wala akong pakialam.
You're not condoning it. Paano mag-reflect yun? The reflection will be that you are not condoning it. And you are in fact really on business sa pagpuputol niyan. Next po, Mr. President, is your meeting with Russian President Putin. Nakipagpulong po kayo kamakailan lang kay Russian President Putin. Pwede po ba ninyo daw kaming bigyan ng mga detalyeng napag-usapan ninyo kung meron man?
Well, I went to Russia because America blocked the sale of 23,000 Armalites to the Philippines, making me as an excuse sa record ko sa human rights. Two congressmen speak against the delivery, so it was not delivered. Wala akong armas, so nagpunta ako sa Russia. Sinabi ko ganito, sabi niya, do not worry, we'll give you. No, basta, no problem, we'll give you. Then I went to China. Naghingi rin ako. So, yung pagkukulang sa mga baril, so some are in the service ito made in China na ano. So, yun ang...
Hindi ko man daw pinabayad, no?
Hindi, wala. Walang 5 centimos binayad. Gratis, sabi niya, we'll give it to you. Sabi ko, we will pay for that.
And no strings attached, ha?
Ha?
No strings attached na may
Wala. Until now. To the credit of Russia. Kaibigan lang talaga kami. And kung sa on personal level, mas close ako sa Russia kay wala man akong kakilala sa Amerika. Sa Russia, magandang relasyon namin.
I was there with you when you went to Russia.
Nandoon ka man, sama ka.
Then, kayo sa Sochi ni President Putin. And he gave you much of the time to talk. Believe siya doon sa sinabi ninyo.
Yeah, we go to the independent foreign policy.
Yes. Ano po yung ninyo sa independent foreign policy ninyo na may kampong nagsasabi na masyado raw tayong humingi ng humihilig para pa-China. Ganun po ba talagang nangyayari?
No. Well, itong mga tao na ito hindi ako kilala. They do not really know also foreign policy. Ewan ko kung sino nag-udyok nila to open their mouth about foreign policy. Foreign policy is just being neutral. But ako neutral in the sense that I do not favor one country for the other, nor would I allow any of those countries to be in the Philippines to establish mga military bases.
Yes.
Except itong Amerika ngayon. But itong Amerika must come clean. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Ngayon, kung magkiusap sila, what was the fiasco all about? So even Senator Pacquiao said, punong-puno na ako. Hindi ko pa ba't siya ang partido na ito? Kasi Pacquiao na hinakit niya sa bago niyang naglabas ng public statement. Well, it's about foreign policy. I would not want to degrade him, but next time he should
It's a naive,
Mag-aral ka muna ng gusto bago
yes,
ka
it's a naive
pumasok.
statement. Kasi hindi niya alam yung ano ninyo, Mr. President, yung pong enemy to none, friends to everyone. That's a very good statement on foreign policy. Yun ang ginagawa natin ngayon. We are not beholden to anyone.
Apparently, this guy has a very shallow knowledge of...
And knowing the mentality of Filipinos that they are always beholden to someone, especially dito sa bansa natin. And here you come, as a Filipino, we are proud of you to stand on your feet and stand for our country, beholden not to anyone, but only to the Filipino people.
No, but the only thing that came away was the rifles that I asked, and the 4 trucks that Russia gave. Yung heavy lift na
Heavy lift na mga trucks.
O yan lang.
But the good thing about it is walang condition.
Wala.
No strings attachment. Just friendship.
I would be telling a lie to the Filipino people if I say there was. Wala talaga. At kung may strings attached, then I would not accept any. Ito ngayong BFA ang problema. May maraming problema tayo dito kasi nga nangyari itong broker ang Amerika tapos nag-atras tayo. Bakit ang China hindi nila pinilit na mag-atras rin? Unless they can explain it to me in a very simple way na maintindihan ng buong Pilipinas, then I can begin to talk about their foreign forces. Pero pag hindi, medyo malabo. Malabo. Sobra tayong wala man, the law was not, I think the law was not abrogated. Suspended lang. So, wala, sinuspend lang yung the act of killing a criminal. Ako basta heinous crime. Heinous crime. Drugs. Tapos yung nangyayari na sabi mo yung the atrocities committed against so many innocent persons. Yung bata dyan sa Makati na kinatay, pinako pa dyan sa kawayan. Kaya ako, yan ang hindi maintindihan ng human rights. Yan ang hindi maintindihan ng human rights. Sabi nila na, huwag mong patayin, demanda mo. Well, kung madala pa. Usually, maglaban yan ayaw nila maniwala yan minsan in desperate mag-agaw ng baril. Totoo. Siguro sa pagka-mayor ko, 3 beses yung inagawa ng baril. Inagawa ng baril, namatay pa ang pulis. Ginawa ka ng baril, patay ang pulis. Akala nila drama yan Well, I am for the restoration of...
Even the Bible is clear on that, Mr. President po, yung sinabi ng Word of God. There is a sin unto death. There is a sin not unto death. Pray for them. But there is a sin unto death. May talagang kasalanan ang pataw ay kamatayan. Even the Bible is clear on that. Sa 1 John. Kaya ako, tinanong din ako kung payag ako doon as a spiritual person. Kala nila yung sagot ko na no. Pero it's biblical. It's biblical. Na those kind of people, when you let them loose, tulad nila.
The two networks join forces as one. And it's gonna be magnetic and magnificent.